Today, you don't need more motivation. You need a nervous system that's been trained to show up. Welcome to Sacred Grit, a podcast equipping men to conquer addiction and overcome inner struggles through physical, mental, and spiritual disciplines so you can become a man of honor and integrity. I'm Jason.Lyle. Now let's get to work. Today you'll learn discipline isn't restriction, it's the daily reps that build nervous system capacity over time. Freedom isn't the absence of structure, it is discipline. And capacity is built in the ordinary moments, not the dramatic ones. This episode is brought to you by Oak Haven Diagnostics. What's up, my dude? Welcome back to the Sacred Grit podcast. So today we are talking about discipline. I think so many hear the word discipline and they think about punishment, right? Like, I've got to be disciplined to go to the gym and I'll punish myself, or, discipline is something that happens to me when I didn't do what I was supposed to be. And so we think of discipline as like this restrictive thing, but the opposite is actually quite true. Discipline is freedom, because when we create discipline around our lives, we know exactly what it takes in our life to get the job done. We're not guessing at it. We're not shooting in the dark. We're not, trying to create all manner of different ways that we could possibly make something happen. We are actually building structure around our lives that takes us in the direction that we want to go. So discipline is the daily reps that build the nervous system capacity over time. So when I get up every morning, even when I don't feel like it, I'm building the man that I want to be, right? So if you get up in the morning and you do, a cold plunge, you cold shower, you do some yoga, you do some meditation, you take the time to really examine what's going on in your body, what's going on in your mind, how do you work with your triggers? You're taking that time. You're building this nervous system that is able to hold more and more dysregulation. Now, the thing with nervous system regulation is these gains, there's some big gains in the beginning, but over time, it becomes small gains over time, okay? So these are really about stacking wins on top of each other. And freedom isn't the absence of structure, it's discipline, right? That's freedom. And it's what happens when your nervous system stops running the show and you start running it. Now, here's what I want you to think about when you think about this discipline piece, right? So many of us, we get angry real easy. We become the good guy real easy. We use our latest substance real easy. We flip through our phone real easy. We work late real easy. We avoid the conversation with our partner real easy. We lay down on the couch and binge real easy, right? But when we start to put structure around our time, this is when I'm going to do this. This is how I'm going to do this. Our nervous system gets something to actually help it to regulate. Because if we just have all this dead space where we don't really have a plan, we don't really have any sort of a structure, we just fly by the seat of our pants, for lack of a better word. And that is fertile ground for the nervous system to take over and do what it has been pre-wired to do. So whatever you've stuck in that space that helps you regulate yourself, that's naturally what'll come up. So if you're regulated by anger, if you're regulated by depression, if you're regulated by anxiety, if you're regulated by your phone, if you're regulated by sex or pornography or drugs, when you have this time that's not structured, it's natural that those things come into those empty spaces, and that is when your freedom gets taken away, okay? Now, the third thing to this is capacity is built in ordinary moments, not the dramatic ones. What I mean by that is, it's very hard to make a decision, and we're going to talk about this on Gritty Wednesday, but it's very hard to make a loving decision back toward yourself when you're in the midst of drama, right? So when you're in the argument with your partner, or when your kids are screaming, or when, work is going haywire, it's very difficult to build capacity then, but it is very easy to build capacity when we are creating these moments, right? And every small act of discipline is a deposit into who you're becoming. I tell my guys all the time, if we start making loving decisions back toward ourselves, right? If we find the ability to just make these smallest loving decisions, we pause, we see the moment for what it is, we're able to grab that moment, to examine that moment, and to make a decision that's loving back toward ourselves, the results that we get, well, they become infectious, right? We see how we feel inside of our body, inside of our mind. We're able to regulate ourselves, and we start to see this discipline as it works with self-love start to manifest the man that we want to become. And next thing you know, you're feeling good about yourself. You're feeling good about your decisions. You're feeling good about your body, your family. You're feeling good about being a dad and a husband, an employee, and all these different things. And you start going, man, I am becoming the man I want to be. And then you start to build capacity. And then you start to grow. And as you grow, you start looking at yourself in the mirror, and you can stare yourself in the eye and tell that guy, I love you. And my dude, is pure freedom. When you can look at yourself in the mirror and love the man that you see, that is being free. No one can take that from you. No one can take away your love for yourself, right? People can take away their love for you. People can take away your physical freedom, but no one on this planet can take care of your mental freedom to love yourself. They cannot take your mind and your soul if you don't let them. Okay, so today you learn discipline isn't restriction. It's the daily reps that build nervous system capacity over time. Freedom isn't the absence of structure, it is discipline. And capacity is built in the ordinary moments, not the dramatic ones. My dude, thank you for listening. I appreciate it as always. I have launched the school course, the Nervous System Regulation Basics course. You can drop down in the show notes. There's a link there. Click on there. Go join school platform for free. There's a free version, and I'm getting ready to post some more content on there. And then there's the upgrade to access the Nervous System Regulation Basics course. All right, my dude. Well, this episode is also brought to you by Capital City Roofing. Now, capitalcityroofing.net is where Brad Strawbridge and his whole crew can be found. They are some of the best folks that you ever want to work with. And they cover all things exterior, doors, windows, roofs, siding. They can handle it all. So look them up at capitalcityroofing.net. All right, my dude. I will see you on Gritty Wednesday.